Hey YouTubers, remember when disc-based gaming was the thing? Don't fret, with the magic of downloadable games, you can relive those childhood memories. One little gem to pop up was Sonic CD, blast through different zones with HD quality. Some people would even say Sonic CD is the best Sonic game ever. Most people would say Sonic CD is apparently the best Sonic game ever. But hey, don't take it from me. Listen to this schmuck review the game and decide for yourself.
To the light, it's a supersonic flight, gotta keep it going. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom, keeps you running fast. Sonic boom, sonic boom, save the planet from disaster. Sonic boom, sonic boom, spinning through a world in motion. Sonic boom, sonic boom.
Now, after the original Sonic the Hedgehog, most people would go straight to Sonic 2, but not me. Why? Because from a technical standpoint, CD is worse. Sonic CD is the most likely the best thing that has came from the Sega CD. I mean, it only uses 2 FMV sequences, 3 if you want to count both the good and bad ending little extras at the end of the sequence. But don't worry, you won't see those because I'm playing the port on the Gems collection. Higher quality, because the CD ones do look like pixelated. Well, they're pixelated, but they do look good for the most part. But anyway, there isn't really big graphical differences. The lead on this game was Naoto Oshima in Japan, while the other Japanese team worked on Sonic 2 in America. Weird, because other than creating the look of Sonic, I don't think he did anything too special in the first game. But he created Sonic, so that was good enough, and I just might not know my shit. Now that I got the little opening nuances out of the way, I'm hoping that you will be able to appreciate the double view mode that I will be presenting, having the Gems collections be on top and the PSN version be on the bottom, and when we go to special stages, the Gems collection will be on the left and the PSN port will be on the right. The plot, like the previous Sonic game, is Eggman's up to evil, go stop him, but this time you travel through time and space. Well, mostly just time. You travel through time. That's this game's hook. While going throughout zones, yes, zones, not X, you have to find signposts that send you to the past so you can destroy a robot generator to create a good future. This is all fine and dandy, but I find they underutilize the future signs. If you go to the future without destroying the generator, then you will end up in a bad future where the game gets harder. So yes, kids, the future is a horrible place where things will be pushed onto you and you'll have a harder time unless you go back into the past and destroy the robot generator. The thing is, even if you do destroy the generator, you never need to go to the future. So, 1. You never want to go to the future without destroying the robot generator. And 2. Even if you do, you most likely won't go there anyway, because you're going to have to travel through the present and then through to the future. And that's just a waste of time when you could just be completing the stages. But hey, don't be sad. In the third zone, you'll have to fight the boss in the future, whether it's good or bad. So if you haven't seen it up till now, you'll have to see it. The game forces you to. In this game, Sonic gets 2 new moves, or a crappy old move and a variation. Basically, Sonic gets a spin dash from Sonic 2 with a load time. It's all or nothing. Second is the Super Peel Out, or figure 8 move. It's basically a spin dash, but on your feet. It works just like the spin dash in Sonic 2, so if you hold down the roll, then you'll immediately go into a ball, and it's like the same thing. But personally, unlike this being a technical gripe, I think the spin dash in this game was just made the way it was to differentiate from the Super Peel Out, because then it becomes pointless. Finally, there are special stages. It wouldn't be a Sonic game without them. Finally putting that CD quality back into use. You have this Mode 7-like landscape where you have to destroy a certain amount of UFOs within a time limit. The perception is a bitch for you and will have a hard time hitting these things. There are traps littered about, and if you land in water, you will lose 10 seconds. The reprieve is that when the time hits 20 seconds, a blue UFO will come and give you more time if you can hit it. If you're good enough, you can technically have an unlimited amount of time, but if you're good enough, you shouldn't need it. The good thing about going through special stages is that each time you complete one, you get a time stone, and if you get all 7, you make a good future in each of the zones. So, you know, you want to look for all those stupid generators. With all of this new and inventive stuff, you must be thinking this game's amazing. It is, but not at the same time. The main problem I have with this game is on a technical standpoint. I would be fine with going through time if it wasn't so hard to do. This game has some bad detection with slopes, so you won't always go up them right. An example is the S-curve near the beginning of the game. How do you mess up an automated section? Seriously, look at it. Rewind, look at it again. It's just so sad. In all honesty, my main gripes with this game is the level design. And it's the level design on a standpoint where it wants me to go fast and get to the past and get to the future. You have to keep a constant speed to go to the past or go to the future. But the level design will just have you randomly halt and come to a complete stop because you ran into something and you have to jump it, or you ran into something and there's a random slope there that's keeping you from going someplace, or you just ran into this random ass rock that was placed in the middle of the level for no goddamn reason. Why is that rock there? I'm at the end of the level. That rock didn't need to be there. But anyway, my main point that I'm getting to is that you have a very stop and go gameplay, especially if you get a future sign without destroying the robot generator. You don't want to go to the future, so you're gonna go slow. You're gonna hope you hit a pass sign, and when you do go fast, you're gonna come screeching to a halt, or at least try to. The special stages in this game revolve like a weird combination of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 on technical standpoints, where Sonic 1 special stages you need a certain amount of skill, and Sonic 2 special stages where you just pretty much needed memorization, because these UFOs will move in certain ways. But the thing is, whereas you, the character, can only pretty much move in a wide circular pattern and make large U-turns, these UFOs can move in diagonals and stars and make straight right turns out of nowhere. So where I ended up just pretty much face bumpering like the stupid guy at a bumper car rally until it came back around and I could jump into it. The boss fights in this game are creative, but they are either easy or tedious. Pinball stage, pinball stage, pinball stage, more flashbacks. But like I said, they aren't really hard, so don't worry about it. But they are very creative, and I would like to see some of these bosses come back. Not you, pinball stage, you can go burn in hell in the bad future. Okay, let me talk about the recent port that came out on the PSN and Xbox Live Arcade. Basically, it's this game, but with better collision detection. It runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, Sonic 2 Spin Dash, and it looks great on your HD TV. Oh yeah, and Tails. Not like it matters, it's just a fucking easy mode. I don't see why people care so much. But he was just treated like an extra, which is all he should be treated as if he's just going to be Sonic that can fly. Now, the ports allow you to use the US soundtrack or the Japanese soundtrack. The only reason there are two different soundtracks is because the US completely remade a new soundtrack because they thought the Japanese music was a bit too generic in the 90s. Personally, I'd slap them across the face for thinking that, but hey, it's good for what it is. I personally like the Japanese soundtrack better because they use mostly the piano. I mean, seriously, they kill the shit out of the piano. And Quartz Quadrant has this kicking drum line in the beginning. And throughout the whole thing, it's bitchin'. In the ports, you can also unlock little extras like the DA Garden, where you can see like kind of little sprite work with Tails and Eggman and Metal Sonic and Little Planet, and it's very detailed, and it's like a sound test because when you listen to a good future track, Little Planet will go to the good future. If you listen to a bad future track, it will go to the bad future, and same with the present. The only thing is you can't hear past tracks in the DA Garden. You can also unlock a visual mode which has the intro, both the endings, a little sketch art of Sonic's intro, and some running animations would look really good. If you do the time trials, you can unlock the normal time trials, special stage time trials, and if you get a certain time on it, you can even unlock a normal sound test where you will be able to hear the past tracks. Overall, Sonic CD just doesn't sit well with me. I mean, if you try to play it like a normal Sonic game and go through as fast as you can without getting the time stones, without getting the robot generators, you're technically playing the game wrong. And when you play it right, it just gets frustrating. This game isn't hard, it's just frustrating. Because you can't get the time stone because the UFOs move in weird stupid ways. Going to the past is hard. Even in the PSN and Xbox Live Arcade ports, which is the definitive version of this game, because it's just 10 times better than the normal port with all the bad collision detection, it's still a hassle to go through time. And personally, from what some of my friends say, they say they couldn't go through time the same way they did back in the past port on the Gems collection, and they had to come up with a new way, which isn't bad, of course, but still, I find that it's so easy to just come to a halt, or just like even jitter a little bit, and you'll lose that little time icon at the bottom of the screen, and you won't travel through time. And I feel that if the main problem is your main gimmick, it's just not a good game. I mean, yeah, I can play and beat the game, but I can't play and complete the game, because personally, when I get the bad ending, I feel like crap. I want to save the little animals in Little Planet. So, you know, I just have a frustrating time overall, but it is still technically better than Sonic 1, so I'll give it a 4.5 just on a technicality, but I still like Sonic 1 a whole lot better. Until I review something else, Matao.